the presentation. So my name is Julien Rottenberg. I'm a recovering system administrator. So basically, right now I'm doing configuration management, and that's what I do at Citygrid in Media. I've been a Puppet user since 2009, and I started at GN, which is sponsored here. I've seen it on the site. And I like to write code and answer questions. So I won't write any code here, but I can answer questions anytime. And as you may notice, I have a thick accent. I'm very proud of my accent, but if you don't get what I'm saying, just interrupt me and say, what? And I try to rephrase it. Okay, so like there's a lot of beginners, which is good because that's exactly the topic of my talk. It's like to go with all the promise of Puppet. So what Puppet, when you sign or when you download the software, what does that promise you and what do you want it from that? So one of the promises, you don't need to SSH to a server to understand how it works. That's like no need. Like I'm very happy during my day when I go to investigate a question server, I SSH to it and he said, are you sure? It's a yes/no question. Do you want to accept the certificate? That means I've never been there. It's still in production, but I was not involved in the deployment. So that's, for me, that's one of the promises. You just look at the Puppet code. It's in your Subversion, Git, whatever you use for source code management, and that's where you find the information about how the server is supposed to behave. Little code. So if you use history, so pre-Puppet, if you have a server and you go to a server and say, oh, how does that work? I have no idea what happened to that server. Maybe you're doing that. Maybe that's how you get information about the server. That doesn't scale very well. So you need to the promise of Puppet is to have all the information about how the server is configured from A to Z, from the when it starts, when you get the vanilla install, from their production. That's everything in Puppet, and there's no magic command like you get from history. Another promise is all the servers have to be identical. There could be some drift based on the environment, but an environment server, Apache server on dev and the same type for QA, same type for prod, differ only from what is specific to the environment. So maybe the VOS name could change, but that's about it. The package will be the same, everything will be the same. And you want to validate that even if someone start to change on the fly, like Brian was saying, make some modification, you want to detect that and revert them. You want to control the drift of your servers. So you want to get away from this kind of situation where all of a sudden what's going on, this guy is not behaving and everybody goes, what? Why? But that's one of the promises of Puppet. So that's also maybe you're here, but that's why you want to use a tool like Puppet. Another promise is to maintain and to audit your code. So given it's in SVN, you want to learn from the feedback loop. So that's system development lifecycle. So that's let's take this one from Wikipedia. You start a project, you see what you need, that's a red arrow on the top. You design, you understand, try to see what Puppet code should be applied to make it work, how you to follow and to respect your requirements. And then you implement, and you go to loop of testing, you make some change, your code evolve, and you apply that on dev, and when you go to QA, you say, oh, we miss this setting, this file is not there, it doesn't have the right permissions, you apply that, so you're building your code for your project for that server configuration, and when you go to production, you have everything already there, and if you want to retest it again, you kill your dev server and you do it again. The big advantage of that is now it's not a server access problem if you want to understand how it works. You can, again, read the source code of your Puppet manifest, and everybody can read, and maybe at some point everybody can commit to it. So I'm developer Joe A, and I need some property set or some folder to be created with the right permission. I can check if it's there. I can check if the permission is there. If I need to, I can reuse whatever was already in the system. See if there is a mount that is prepared, and maybe there is not, and that's why we'll have an issue because the design of the application was to have a mount. So everything is open, and that's a big win. That's one of the promises of the web. And yeah, of course, I have a bunch of t-shirts here, but that's a promise also. Since you automated as much as you can, you want to put your name here and go to bar at 5 p.m. So that was for the premise. Now the toolset. So I won't go too much into our Puppet code because that's like very specific. But what is more interesting is the tool you're using to make it work, and that help us to scale. All of them, I verified that all of them are open source, and we try to like see what was available on the market and see if we can, if we had to write some pieces. And fortunately, there was no need, and basically because our business is to run servers, and it's not to write code to help the server to run. We have more like business-oriented problem to solve, and we do with Puppet and other tools. So that's the idea. You're not alone. So fine, go to GitHub, go to like PuppetCamp or stuff like that, and find the tool that everybody's using to solve the problems they have, and most likely has already been solved by someone else. So this guy was alone. You can see he didn't have any friend to put some screen on his back. So don't be that guy. Like you just like, ask around and get some help for the tool you need. So part of the tool set is the Puppet doc. So it's like maybe the less used, as far as I can see. I don't know how you call that, the argument for Puppet, but it's huge because you apply that on every commit, invalidates your code. You don't need to apply Puppet parser because Puppet doc does that already, and it produces HTML doc. So you can, like, if you hook that up with Jenkins, the Puppet doc, it takes 10 seconds to run on a like quite decent Puppet code base. That's like no, and you have immediate feedback within 10 seconds. You know if you mess up something, and at any time you can go to a web page served by Jenkins and see what's going on. So here it's a create repo define we had for the Yum module, and we know how it works, and it's all generated code from the API inside the manifest. Puppet lint. That's not part of Puppet, but it's on GitHub. Very nice tool. So basically, it's a syntax checker in terms of code compliance. It's not for making sure it's valid, but more for does it comply with what we define as how do you organize your code? So like any language has that, like PHP has one, Java has one, like they all have one. So Puppet needed one, and this guy did it. And it's very active because he found bug, he fixed it. You can, like if you have a comment where you know some lines of your code will have more than 80 characters, it sucks, but you can filter this one out. There's a bunch of stuff you can do. And of course you can integrate with Jenkins. So again, on each one, you get this kind of view. It's like the plugin in Jenkins named Warning to integrate with Puppet lint. So it's very easy to implement. Jenkins check out your code, and apply Puppet lint on all the files, and to push that to a text file and Jenkins party. So you get a sense of what's going on. So if I hear correctly, the autoloader layout, that's a colon variable will go away, because that's what we get pretty clear now.
You still need to make sure that your files are in the right directory structure so that the autoloader knows where to find them.
Yeah. The local will not complain, will not.
Yeah. But if you want to reference, facts or things like that with : like in the previous presentation, there were several slides with : we can get rid of the double colon.
Yeah.
Save some keystrokes.
So yeah, we use Puppet lint. It's a little bit more expensive. It takes 2 minutes for the same code base, and it's part of the CI game. So I don't know if you're familiar with Jenkins. Do you know what is Jenkins itself? Yeah. It's very nice. Like it's like lifesaver. It's part of the CI game. So CI games, it's a small plugin for Jenkins, where when you commit, you gain 1 point. If you break the build, you lose 10, and you fix the build, you gain 10. And if you commit on a broken build, you lose 1. So at the end of the day, like depending on the activity of your commits, you get a score. And so it's stupid, but it works. I was very surprised. Like people are very much oh, what? I'm minus 100. What's going on? I need to take some commit and take care of that. So they're jumping on the failed build to fix it, which is very nice. So SVN, we use SVN. It reminds me the hack some of our predecessors explained. So we have 2 branches. So that's our SVN strategy. The schema is like make it more complex than what it is, but we have 2 branches. Trunk, which is a work in progress where everybody is committing to, and it has a lot of broken code, but if it breaks the build, we need to fix it, but it's like code in progress. And we have the production branch. So that's the test as code, that's a release branch. Every deployment to prod go from that branch. So like it's a big no-no if something is broken there, it cannot happen. It's a big deal if it happens, and it has to be resolved as soon as possible as well. That helps us to make sure we don't step on each other, and if we need to release a module, we don't, if since everything is in SVN, we don't push code that hasn't been tested. So then you need to have a strategy to move the code from trunk to the production branch. So if you're familiar with SVN, that's a merge. And if you are familiar with SVN, it's very painful. It's very we use SVN merge.py to do it. It's a very, very nice third-party tool in Python. Basically, you give it a number of commits, and it will apply the change in your production branch. So again, there is a metric to track, which is the number of unmerged commits. That's the pending cherry picks. So every change you made in trunk, so in your code base, like the live code base, are not ready for the prime time. But they are still pending, and they are like in your way. So if you need to release something, it's in your way. It kind of steps. So you want to make sure every change committed are tested, validated, and merged. So you want to keep track and make sure it doesn't go above 40. So in your case, we break the bill if it's above 30, just as an incentive to have more cherry picks. Yeah, so we don't want code in progress, we fail the build. And also a nice side effect of the cherry picking is the code review. So the rule is, if I'm committing something in trunk, so that's where I'm starting, I'm committing directly to trunk, not production. If I do that, I have an idea, either a bug fix or something, a feature to add to my Puppet task. When I'm done, I think it's done, and I've tested my code and it seems to work. If I'm the one pushing to prod, basically I'm judge and party. Like I can go, I got that coding under influence, so I can be totally drunk when I commit to trunk, and I say, okay, that's cool. I merge it to production, and then all of a sudden everything is broken, and nobody has any idea what happened and why everything is broken. So we have a rule, very simple, which is do not cherry pick yourself. Ask someone, so that's also encourage collaboration. So ask someone in your team to say, hey, can you cherry pick that commit, that commit, that commit? And this is what was my idea when I committed all of the stuff. So you get a list of commit, you apply that merge, and you get like a basic diff of all of that, and say, oh, that's nice, okay. Oh, I see what you mean. Oh, why are you doing that on this? And I can test it on my local machine as well, and that's code review, and that's very useful. So cherry picking, it works. It's very dangerous. That's a good example of cherry picking. It works, like no question. But there is some flow, and like the design, it's not SVN merge fault at this point. It's really SVN itself. Like doesn't like allow very easily to branch or to experiment into like shared code base and go away from it. So we are investigating to move all of that to Git. I don't know if any of you guys are using Git, but that's a big step for us. And Git comes with very nice tool for code review like Gerrit, and there is tons of Jenkins plugin to integrate. So, but yeah, if you are using SVN merge.py is very useful. Another part of the toolset, that's Vagrant. So Vagrant, it's a gem, Ruby gem, that sits on top of VirtualBox. So your laptop will need Ruby, and so Ruby gem Vagrant, and VirtualBox. So the idea of Vagrant is to have your own local machine, local sandbox, looking exactly the same way as your kick-started machine, same way as your AMI or on EC2 or whatever you use. It has to be vanilla. You distribute that, and you can apply via Vagrant provision, which is actually a Puppet apply, your code on your Vagrant. So that's how we test our code. We have our local checkout of trunk, and we apply trunk on our Vagrant machine to make sure like Apache is still running after my change. I destroy my Vagrant machine, I apply my class and make sure it comes up and it does all of the things I want. And it saves a lot of time and avoid to have too many bugs on any given branch. So that's the next big step. So all of that you can use it any other previous tool like today. Like it doesn't require any strong like architecture design and change. This one is more invasive. So that's inventory. We use that for external null classifier, which is very nice. So it's a web interface. It's a tool which has an API that gives us the ability to define for a given machine classes, public classes. So it exports those files via a YAML format like that, and Puppet can parse it and apply for the given server default install and the class we define GCD. So that's very useful, but that's not the only advantage of that. The big advantage is, so it's the main job of inventory. It's basically to keep track of all of the servers we have. We started using it in January, you can see, and since then we have all of our machines in there. So it's very good. It's not Puppet relative. It's very good for reporting. We know how many hosts we have, where they are, what kind of which team use it, what like RAM or consumption. Well, a lot of things about the server, and more importantly, inventory use factor as a core to send data back to inventory server. So you have a client, an agent on each of your nodes, and Puppet was taking care of the installation of the agent, and it reports back to inventory, and you can use that for ENC. But you can also use that. Sorry.
Did you just say? Explain again how inventory uses factor.
So that's part of the node, the client of inventory. So there's the client server mechanism. So you install the server. When you install the client, it as a dependency there is factor in it. So inventory client by nature it will use any. I think it uses 4 or 5 facts, but you can extend the client to say I want also to use my custom-made fact and to have them reported to inventory. So it's by default, like by design, inventory client give the fact from factor and ship them back to the master. So we didn't have to do anything for this part, which was quite nice. We talk a lot about store config, and you will talk, of course, about PuppetDB, but it's very convenient also to avoid the problem of store config. When Nagios check his code, I mean, run his Puppet run, he can ask inventory, hey, give me all my nodes, and it's up to date, because we can inject your I'm killing this instance in inventory, and so when Nagios will report, he will find that the host is gone. So that's like a replacement for store config altogether. And the issue we had with store config, and I use it in my previous job, was a scalability issue. Like when Nagios server takes a day to compile, it's not doable. Another tool, Foreman. So Foreman is kind of the Puppet dashboard. So it's a web interface again. It has an API where when a machine run Puppet, Puppet master reports back the information, the reports to Foreman, so you can visualize how your servers are behaving, and if anything changes on the server, you can audit if the server is not like reporting back to Puppet, and etc. So since it has an API, that's one way for us to monitor the health of our node Puppet-wise for Nagios, because we don't have to go to the host, we can directly ask this guy. It can support ENC. I tried at first to use that as an ENC. I fucked up, but that's okay. Probably that's me. It's a very good tool. Okay, so that's a lot of tools. Yeah, I agree, but actually that's maybe a good idea to have a lot of tools. So this guy is Denis Ritchie. So he invented, co-invented Unix and C. I think he put his hand on C. And so the idea is to have like small programs, as small as it could be, that does one thing and one thing only, and hopefully it does it well. And that's the design of all of the tools I presented. Like the one is like takes care of the inventory, one takes care of the configuration management as Puppet. Like you analyze your code, you report another tool. So It's okay, because as long as you pipe them, you're in good shape. Like if they can talk to each other and basically they expose the information via the API, that's okay. That's totally fine. You just need the glue to pipe them together. And speaking of glue, so we have a data center still, but we use EC2 a lot, and we use Boto for all of our EC2 integration. So EC2 for the instance, Route 53 for the name, the balancer, queuing and messaging services. Do you know what is a Boto? I was like writing this slide and say, what is a Boto? Like if someone asks, I have no idea. Nobody knows.
It's a tech dolphin like from Amazon. There it is, like kind of a bottle or something.
Yeah. So yeah, that's. I'm surprised someone knows that. Right. So it looks very ugly. It's a Boto urinating on itself. But no, Python Boto is very good. It's a very nice tool to write like Python script that take care of all of that. So that's for the tools. So we talk about tools a lot. That's Puppet is one of the tools, but Puppet is nothing if with the wrong attitude and like it's more of a culture shift. We talk about, nobody mentioned the bad word like DevOps, but it's also a culture shift using a tool like Puppet because it opens new problem but solves so many others that it's worth it. So culture cloud. So I said we use EC2 a lot. It has glitches. You have to expect them. Like there's some problems. So whatever used to just work, you take the same code base and the same server, same package, you put them into EC2, and it doesn't work anymore. I have some examples. Gemondi. So EC2 relies a lot on the split view DNS. So Gemondi, if you seed it via geometric, it doesn't know where it is, and he creates two nodes for a given machine, which is very annoying. So there's a way around, but you have to work a little bit more. GMX. So GMX is easy. You open the port and it will just work. Not an EC2. You need to specify the public name of your machine at runtime, which is like a good job for Puppet actually, but still an extra effort. ELB. So that's the load balancer. It's a pseudo load balancer. It's a DNS-based balancing. So if your client cache DNS, it doesn't balance anymore. So that's glitches something like that. And of course, you have the bad neighbors on EC2. So if something happens on your machine, doing nothing but it's very slow, maybe that's your neighbor, and that's expected. That's okay. You have to deal with it because it has some big advantage. The whole idea is like, don't do that. Okay, that's where it's okay. Like it's a different technology. It solves many problems, and it creates some new more, but the one it creates are interesting to solve. So that's I try to remove whatever was very specific to our infrastructure and say how we use EC2. So I want to build 10 nodes. So I have a Python script where I pass an environment, the size of the machine I want to use, the class, the C for class, TLD, the test, Hadoop, and the number of nodes I want to create. So that talk to EC2, spin up the instance, take a default EMI because we have a default EMI in that zone, and voila, you have your 10 machine. Then you want to apply, they get booted and they have all of the things you need to start working. So you have base class, base install, your admin, and the EMI is virgin. There's no key there, and your user will be created as a and the machine will register to inventory. So the next step is to, in inventory, add them to a class you want to use for your non-classifier. So in my case, it's Hadoop data node. So on the next run of those guys, they will be data node server. They will move away from vanilla machine to data node server. And when I'm done with all of that, I can make them in service. And that will start to build the configuration for Nagios, build the configuration for the rest of the node that were maybe already there, and expand their config and to say, oh, you have 10 new friends, and find them. That's how it's done. So that's 3 steps. That's if you want to start a cluster. Scaling, auto-scaling, that's for the next phase. The idea also is to be pragmatic. You can, like, when I started all of that, there was no no Puppet management. So let's start with like user authentication. Maybe what this project needs to have as user automatically installed. So we took care of that. So that means it was in Puppet. What happened? That means the node was in Puppet, and we can apply some sort of Puppet code to put into control. And then you extend, say, okay, now I want to control over, I don't know, all the packages for the machine. So Oracle client, Hadoop, whatever it is. And then you integrate a little bit more. You say, I want Hadoop, and I want Hadoop configured, and the server.xml to be managed via Puppet. And you conquer, like, step by step, all of your infrastructure. So for sure, like tomorrow, if you started yesterday, tomorrow your whole architecture won't be managed by Puppet. But if you start very small, be pragmatic and make baby step, you move from, oh, I will manage this file, the file being UTC MOTD. That's a huge win. Like, you have MOTD under control. Doesn't solve a lot, but it solves one problem. So you get familiar with Puppet, and you get to a bit of understand how it works, and then you can expand and build on it. Yeah, we have one in mind. So again, that was for the culture, the cloud part of the culture change. It also forces us to collaborate better with the rest of the team. So, like, I'm assuming everybody here works as a sysadmin or configuration management engineer, or maybe I'm wrong, but there's a lot of, maybe not more, many developers, like writing pure code and not having anything to do with sysadmin. That's disappointing, but I mean, that needs to change. So here's the idea. Do that at work, like put that cluster at work, see how it goes. That's the whole idea of Puppet as a tool. In my mind, as a way I view it, is to encourage and embrace collaboration between the members of a given team. So I'm lucky enough to work in an agile company. The CTO is huge on Scrum and all of that, and that, like, we are matrix into a project team. So we are not just the operation guy in the cave and working on some and bubbling when someone talks to us. It's like we are part of the project, and we have one or sometimes two project team we're working with, and we follow the lifetime of the project. So it's important to collaborate and to apply your Puppet code to do what the project needs to see on the server to make it work. Because we don't have all of the servers just to consume power. The end goal of the server is to get some code deployed and crunch number and serve pages and stuff like that. So it has no value, Puppet or whatever tool you use, if you don't integrate this facility with the code you deploy. So it's really about collaboration. So I really like the guy, John Elspo. It's CTO of, maybe, I'm not sure he's CTO, but he works for Etsy. Etsy is a very interesting company. So it's a culture of collaboration. So that's really what matters the most. To me, it's like it's okay to talk to a developer and say, what's going on? Like, why, I don't know, why do you have one man cache server? Like, you want, I can give you two. I mean, I'd rather have two actually, because if one dies, like, your code will shift to the other one, and I don't have to be waking up. And this kind of stuff, that can happen if you don't trust each other, if you don't respect each other. And one part of it is give access to your developer and your team, project team, of your Puppet code. Make it, like, let them read it and send patches and stuff like that. So again, it's just a change in the point of view on how do you see things. And so you have three point of view with that thing. I took this image on image view, and one of the comments was very interesting. One guy said, "Oh, there's also this half is twice as big as it should be," said the engineer. And that's interesting. But yeah, it's just like maybe you have production issue, you have dead legacy project that nobody's maintaining, and you have to keep track of it. Like, there's always that kind of problem, but I'm quite sure it's on the roadmap. So yeah, that's that Panda. Don't let me decide. And yesterday, so I was doing my slide and check my reader. Okay, so I'm eager to see how it works, and that's interesting because that's store config. Previous live at Gorilla Nation, like Najus was like not very active during the compile. So I don't know how I'm doing with time, but two last things. That's kind of an experiment we had at Citygrid. So we had a week with like a bunch of critical emergency issue where like things being broken left and right was hell for the guy on call, and it was really bad. Like, and so thinking of root cause analysis and understand why what's going on, and say most of it, and more often than enough, it was really just the design of the application. Like it was designed by a team where the ops guy was not really involved in the design, and there's like many single point of failure, and all of that could have been avoided by just involve the whole team on the design, because everybody is responsible for the design, but only one guy is responsible to be waking up at 3 a.m. So it's not very fair. So one side effect of the on-call rotation. So actually, what happened is we say, okay, at this date, we decide we bucket all of our Nagios alerts per project, per team, and if that goes off, the NOC will call the guy on call, and we call the engineer on call. And there was a bunch of issue that was like on the backlog of the project. Oh, we need to fix this, like single dome failure, but it was always pushed to the bottom, and the new feature, business feature was on the top. And the next day, something like that happened. Like we had an outage, and the engineer on call was waking up with the system on call, system admin on call at 3 a.m. Like something magical happened. Like the brain like start to turn, and we found solution for this suck-ass problem that was breaking the site every week. And just because we expose the problem to the people who are not sharing the pain, so it's all about sharing the pain. We share the pain, and now we don't have this problem anymore because it's top priority for everybody, not just the guy on call, to solve it. So try it at home. It works. It's incredible. And one thing that was very surprising, nobody quit. Like nobody said, "Oh, it's not on my contract. They didn't sign to be on call." And there are way more developers than sysadmin. So the on-call rotation is not too aggressive. Like it's one every 7 weeks, something like that. But it works. Like it exposes the fact that if your design, your application, your building is broken, it's also your fault, and you're responsible. You are accountable for the design mistake you made. Another example, like we had process that needs to run every week, only once a week, and when we're doing that process at Bootstrap, we need to shut off like everything else. And this one was not automated. So before, a poor soul every Saturday, the sucker will spend 2 hours worth of work, but schedule across the whole day just to babysit the process and make sure every step we are doing data ingestion. So every step are working, and it was not automated. It was not impossible to automate, but it was not automated because it was not a priority. And one guy can just like suck it up on Saturday. And with the on-call rotation, say, okay, that one guy will rotate in the project team. Like you developer, like Java senior developer, you will take care of like pushing the button and take care of the execution steps. And if you don't have permission to do it, the admin on call will help you. 2 weeks later, we have a solution for that. Incredible. And now it works better because human make mistake. They forget something. Like it has to be made for robots. It has to be automated. It takes time. It takes effort. It's not always easy to automate everything. But when when it's done, it's a huge win. You don't have to think about it anymore. Second thing, don't be human keyboard. So it means a lot of things. I have a few examples. One is regarding metrics. Oh, what's going on with the server? I have no idea why the server is slow, why the page are not running. Can you SSH to the server and tell me what's going on? That sucks. I'm not a human keyboard. I'm not like a keyboardist. An interface where you press key and send information to the machine. And I'm not that. I'm not telling me what to do, and I'm sending the information because I have root and sudo or the machine. So just expose what they need, like the log, like Logstash or Splunk. The metrics, Graphite. Graphite is very, very nice. So you throw metrics at it, and you don't even think about the number of them, and put dashboard, and so they don't have to ask what about the information, the configuration of, and the activity of the server is there. How this server is configured, I don't understand why it works on dev and not on prod. Show them the Puppet code, and don't be the human keyboard. It's not worth it. And of course, shameless plug. So that's Citygrid like pitch. We do aggregation, advertisement, and content from local businesses. So basically, we aggregate the world. That's the goal. Take all this information that is very organic, human generated, match it, merge it, make it like computer friendly, and then serve it. So when you are looking for a business on your phone, you get something generated that is great and works. Right? We have nice setup in terms of tools. We are a huge Hadoop user. For serving, we use Solar, MongoDB, and Tomcat. Code is Java mostly, and so if you want to, if you're interested, you can talk to me or talk to any of the Citygrid employees that work here. They are very easy to spot because they have a smile on their face. And so yeah, but for question, and of course there's a bunch of links, and so I try to make it easy. So if you go to that page on the top, you will arrive just there. So you don't have to wait here. You can go there, and I'll send you the link so you can. Cool.
Thank you.